So today I'll be teaching you how to do Inosuke's Nichirin blade in Blender 2.9. It will be a very long step-by-step video, so check out the timestamp and skip whenever you need to. So without further ado, let's begin. Okay, before we'll begin, let me just remind each one of you that we are using Blender 2.9, and if you haven't downloaded that version yet, please do it now before we begin, because the controls shortcuts might be different, so you will be able to follow on whatever we are clicking and pressing or whatever. And also, just a little bit of a reminder before we begin is that in our preferences, key map might select with mouse button is right click. I'm using the old Blender way, so just a reminder, I'm not using the left click to select. Also, if this keyboard layout is not enough for each one of you, we are going to put a shortcut, this one over here, so that you'll be able to know what I'm clicking or pressing, so you'll be able to follow on this tutorial. Anyway, with all of those reminders said, I guess we are ready to begin the Inosuke's Nichirin blade, and I'm going to first teach you how to do the blade part. And now, before we'll begin, I want you to clear out your scene. So we could do that by pressing A to select everything on your scene, and press X and choose delete to delete everything. We will be needing just a plain mesh. So what we're going to do next is press Shift A, choose mesh, and you click on the plane. Now we have this plane over here. All we need to do next is go into edit mode by pressing tab, Control R, and point your mouse in the middle of that plane. Now scroll your mouse wheel up to, I think, 5. 1 2 3 4 5, and that will be enough. And double click to confirm. Now I want you to select everything else, so press A, then deselect this part by pressing Shift over here, then right click on here, right click there, right click here, and over there. So since those are deselected, because we're going to use just this part, just press X and choose vertice, so that we will be left just with this middle part. Anyway, let us put another loop cut in between by pressing Control R, and put your mouse in the middle and double click that, Control R again, and put your mouse in the middle and double click it again. Now that those loop cuts are already there, we need to select these two and put them over here. So let me show you how to do that. Press Shift, right click here, right click there, double tap G, then you pull down your mouse up to this point. There we go, because this will be our baseline for our blade. So how will this look like a blade? You will see in a little bit, so just follow what I'm currently doing here. Anyway, we still have a problem here, since we have this what we call overlapping vertices, and we need to delete those before we could continue, because I wanted this vertice to be connected to this part, or should I say it should be continuous. Anyway, just press A in edit mode, go to mesh, clean up, and degenerate dissolve. And as you can see over here, we already deleted two vertices that are overlapping each other. Now as you can see over here, they are already connected, and that's what we need to have right now. Now since we are done at that part, we don't need the middle, or should I say the middle part over here. So select that vertice in the middle, then press X and just choose vertice. So we will just be left with this plain lines over here. Now before we will proceed, let me just save this quick. So file, save as, and just let's just go to like desktop, untitled, whatever. So this is just for tutorial sake, so it doesn't really matter. As long as you're saving your work, you are good to go. Anyway, with this stuff over here that we already made, the next thing we're going to do is to extrude it upwards. So we need to change our view into perspective. So press 3 on your numpad and scroll down your wheel, middle mouse. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to extrude this. Since everything is selected by pressing A, then you press E to extrude, press Z to lock on to Z axis, and press 30, then double tap enter to confirm. Now we are done with the base blade. So this one looks like a katana blade already, but it's not curved yet. And what we're going to do next is we are going to curve that up. I already teach this part in some of the tutorials, but if you are just new here, consider this as a base blade for our katana blade, or should I say Inosuke's Nichirin blade. Anyway, now the next thing we're going to do is the proportional editing, but in order for us to like bend this blade, we need to like put a lot of loop cuts over here. Let's say some parts are 30 or something. So in order for us to do that, select your mesh, then go to tab, to edit mode, Control R, then point your mouse in the middle and press 30 on your numpad. Double tap enter to confirm. Now since we already have all of those loop cuts, we are now ready to do the proportional editing. But before we go there, let's just go to Z, press Z on your keyboard and choose wireframe so that we could see everything from every side in whichever view we are looking at. And next is we're going to use this one, proportional editing. You can just click that or press O on your keyboard, and we have a drop down menu over here. You just choose sharp, because yeah, that's the thing that we need to choose for this bending. Now I want you to select the top part and the bottom part by pressing B, then left mouse and select this part, B, left mouse and select this part. Then you go to choose G, and as you can see there's a circle over in the middle. That's for some reason it's following only the circle. So without that proportional editing, it's going to be just like this. So the proportional editing serves as it follows the vertices or whichever you go. So we're just going to put this up. Now press G again. We have that circle and just put it around here against, and press Y to lock it in Y axis, and we are going to bend it let's say that's too much. I guess yeah, I guess this one will do, or a little bit. Okay, that bending is just right, I guess. So let's go back to solid mode by pressing Z, go to solid, and this is our base blade right now. So now that we are done with the base blade, I guess it's ready for the cuts like this one. So we're going to try to imitate this one. This is the model that I've already made, but of course we're going to do it differently in this part. So we're going to try to do something like this over here. It will be a bit tricky and there are a lot of ways, but let me show you how I do things. Now select your katana blade and go to tab for edit mode, and let's just put a loop cut in the middle here by pressing Ctrl R. Then point your mouse in the middle here, double click to confirm, and let's put another loop cut, Ctrl R, in this part and double click. Oops, yeah, this part, and double click to confirm. And of course we're going to do it also on the other side, so Ctrl R, point over here, double click to confirm, Ctrl R again, and let's put another one in between those. Yeah, I guess that's it. So you might be wondering what are those for. Just follow. Okay, anyway, I guess we'll start from the bottom to going to the top. So we're going to cut the, let's say, from this point. So let's go to Z axis and go to wireframe, press B and select this part and Control E. Let's just put a mark on this, mark sim. This is just a reminder, we're not going to do the mapping yet. This is just a reminder for us that this is the middle, because if you will look at that, it's really hard to follow on which is which. Anyway, so this is just but a reminder for us that this will be the middle. So I'm going to cut it from this part going here and there. Let me just show it to you. Now since this is the middle, you press Ctrl R again and point your mouse on this part above the red color, or the mark sim, and Ctrl R again underneath. You see that? So what we're going to do next is a really bit tricky, so let's go to solid mode so that we will not be confused, because there's a lot of vertices happening. Now the next thing we're going to do is select this, right click, shift, right click this part, and let me just see, press X and choose vertices. Also do that on the other side, this and this, select and press X and vertice. Okay, now let me just see this one. Okay, I think we don't need this as well, so select this part and this part, right click, shift, right click this as well, press X and choose vertice. Okay, now that we are done with that, I want you to select this one, press shift of course, so that you won't because if you try to select different without pressing the shift, it will deselect the previous selection. So shift, select, then shift, select, then press F to fill. Also do that on the other side, select, shift, select, then F to fill. So the same pattern underneath, so select, press F, select that part, select this part and select this part, press F. Okay, so we're almost getting the first cut over there. Now I want you to select this part, and this part, press F again, same pattern, select and press F. Over here as well, select and select this part and press F. So this part, 1 2 3, F. We're almost done. Now I want you to select this part, shift, select, and press F again. Same pattern over here, select, F, select, and press F. Select, and select this one and press F. Okay, so I hope you got that pattern, since we are going to use the same pattern for the rest of the blade. And of course, we don't need this vertices over here anymore. So press B, or rather press C. Scroll your mouse wheel downwards and select this part, and press X, then vertice. Okay, but as you can see over here, we still have an open space. We have to close that up. So I want you to press Shift Alt, select this part over here, so that it will select all the connected lines in this part of the mesh. I want you to deselect this two, Shift, deselect this one, while still pressing Shift, deselect this one as well. Now, since we have selected only those parts, we are going to put a bridge so that we could close this thing up. So in order for us to bridge that, what do you call that again? I forgot. Bridge edge loops. Okay, this is what we need. So while selecting all of those highlighted parts, press Ctrl E, then choose bridge edge loops. There we go. So that is already closed. Okay, and I think we need to like connect this line, or should I say this whole part in between. So we're going to put an edge loop cut rather in between here. So Control R and point your mouse in the middle of this part, double click to confirm, and that's about it. And then select this vertice, shift vertice, then shift this part and press F just to fill that empty space. We still have one, so we're going to do the same. F, also under here. So you might wondering why is it that we need to like put a loop cut in between. That is for a preparation for the texturing later on. So if you would try to Shift Alt and select all these lines, it is still connected, as you can see, because without the middle loop cut, we cannot select this part. Okay, so we are just going to use the same pattern for the rest of the blade. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip this part, and we are going to use this part as the middle. So let's go to Z, wireframe, B, select this part, Control E, and let's just choose Mark Sim to remind us that that will be the middle, like this one. And the same pattern goes on. I hope you already got this pattern over here, because I will just try to like time lapse this part up to the very end part, because it's actually the same. Anyway, let me just start the time lapse. going to continue on the pattern here. We need to fix first the pointed part. So yeah, in order for us to do that, we need to select our mesh, press tab to go to edit mode, and click the single vertex here, and just press this button here so that we could focus on what we are working on. And since we are focused on that part, we need to like select all the top vertices here, and we'll do that by pressing B, then left mouse button and select that part. Okay, since those parts are all selected, we need to work on our proportional editing. So we could do that by pressing this button here, or press O on your keyboard, then press S and press Shift Z to lock on to the right, and or should I say to lock or deselect the Z axis, because if we are going to scale it just with X, Y, and Z, it's going to pull the mesh out. We don't want that to happen, because all we wanted is just to use the X and Y axis to scale that up. So let's do that again. Press S, press Shift Z, then scale it out up to this maybe up to this point. So you just have to be creative on this part. I guess that will do. Okay, and of course we're not done yet. Press G again, then press Y and move it over here. Yeah, I guess that will be I don't know, G, Y. I guess this will do. Yes, I guess that will do. Anyway, we need to fix this part more. Let's just click a single vertex and focus on that alone, and scroll your mouse going inwards, or should I say upwards, your mouse button, because we need to close this up. So press B again, select everything here, and press M and choose center. So because we need to close that up and we don't want that tip to be open. Okay, I guess that will do. So let's check it out. Since we are done with the tip part, we need to still put one more cut over here. Okay, so since this is the last one, I'm going to teach you again. So in order for us to do that, press Shift and Alt and select this edge over here, even though we are in the vertex select mode. Control E, mark sim. This has nothing to do with the model, it's just that we needed to like line that up so that we will know where is the middle. So after that, we need to put a loop cut on this side and this side. We can do that by pressing Control R and point your mouse here, double click afterwards, Control R again, point your mouse here, and double click to confirm. Now we needed to like delete this vertex, yeah, and press Shift, this vertex as well, and this vertex as well. Also on the other side, this one, and this one. Then we are ready to press X and choose vertex to delete those unnecessary parts. Okay, so we are left with this, and as per usual, we need to connect or tie these things up. So first this one, select, Shift, select, and select, then press F. Select vertex, press Shift, select, and select, press F. And we will just go on with the same method over and over. So you just need to like imitate what I am trying to do here, because we are going to like fix the stitches of this model. So with that part is done, we need to do the other side as well. Actually, you could also, since we have a cut over here, we could also do a mirror modifier, but as of now, let's just use this pattern so that it will be understandable for everyone else. So let's just select, and then press F, select, press F, select. Okay, I'm just going to go through this, and we are almost done. Now, since we are done with that part, we don't need this line here. Press C, select this vertex and press X, choose vertex to remove the remaining unnecessary vertices. So we also need to like cover that open hole over here. Shift Alt and select this edge. Deselect this vertex by pressing Shift, then right click. Then while these parts are selected, press Ctrl E and bridge edge loop. Let us put a loop cut in between by pressing Ctrl R and put your mouse in the middle here. Double click to confirm, and for the last part we are going to stitch this part. F, select, Shift, select, then press F. Same pattern over here. And I guess we are done with our blade. And the next thing we're going to do is the handle. So we're going to do it differently today, so bear with me guys. What we'll be needing next is a cylinder. So in order for us to get that, Shift A, go to mesh and choose cylinder. Let us focus on that cylinder by pressing our delete button on your numpad so that we could focus on what we are currently working. And while selecting that, we needed to remove the face on the top and the bottom. So in order for us to do that, let's click the cylinder, go to tab, then face selection, this face selection, right click somewhere to deselect everything, right click the top face and go to the bottom and press Shift, then right click the bottom, then press X and choose faces so that we could have this empty cylinder there. Now we don't want to make this look edgy, so let's just go to object mode once again by selecting this cylinder, go to object and shade smooth to smooth that edgy part. So I guess that's it. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to just have to stretch it out. So press tab, press A, press S, then Z to lock it in Z axis, then move your mouse on your right, but not too much, somewhere. Let's do that again. Oops. Scale Z somewhere. I guess that's good enough. Then when you find your right size, then press G, go to Z. Let's just move it over here. I guess this is too big. It's really too big, so let me just scale that up a little bit. Scale in all axis. Okay, I guess that's fine. G, Z. Okay, I guess that's good enough. Anyway, if ever I make a mistake, you just have to repeat things up. So yeah, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put some loop cuts here because we're going to curve it with the blade as well. So about, let's say, 10 loop cuts. So we're going to press Control R rather, point your mouse in that cylinder and press 10. Double tap enter to confirm, and that's about it. And that's it. We are done with the handle. The next thing we're going to do is the wrappings of this handle. Now for the next part is the wrappings. So we're going to get our mesh part on this handle so that it could follow the size and everything else. So go to select your handle, press tab to edit mode, and choose edge mode. We're going to select just a single part over here. Just right click, then shift D, enter, press P, then choose selection. Okay, so now we have a different name over here. So this will be let's call it wrappings 1 because we're going to have 2. While selecting this wrappings, okay, counts. Okay, this one. While selecting the wrappings, let's go to this button over here. We're going to add a modifier called screw, and there we go. As you can see, it's highlighted. We're going to put a little bit of changes here, around negative 3, or just like this. You just have to be creative on this part because it's really subjective. And let's increase the iteration up to this point. Yep, to that point. Okay, let's just pull that up. If you notice that Blender 2.9 has a different subdivision or a modifier screw thingy over here, the options are different from the previous version of Blender. So another thing that we need to add is screw, because we wanted to like no, not screw, shrink wrap rather. We wanted to put that wrappings around the handle, so we're going to replace the target to handle. It's not noticeable just yet. So after you put that there, we're going to add another modifier called solidify, and let us increase the thickness into somewhere like 0.05. I guess that will do. Okay. Lastly, we need to add another modifier called subdivision surface to smoothen things up. I guess that will be fine. We don't need to like add more levels because it will be too much. Or here, if you wanted, you could just play around with this thing, but I guess the default one will be fine for this project. Okay, so let's just save this real quick. Now we are going to copy this shrink wrap, or the wrappings rather, by pressing Shift D, enter, and we're going to rename this real quick into wrappings 2. While wrappings 2 is selected, press S, press X, then -1, enter, and there we go. We have this somehow crisscrossing effect, but we need to edit the solidify thickness of this one. So we go to wrappings number 2, go to solidify, then let's just put this to around 0.1. Okay, I guess that will be fine. Perfect. I think it's perfect. Okay, so the next part we're going to do is just to cover these things up. As you can see, it's really thick, but we're going to do something about that later on. So let's do the transitioning part over here and underneath. I guess before we will be able to cover this thing up, or this empty space over here in the bottom, we need to like link the wrappings with the handle. But before we'll be able to link those, of course, we need to apply the modifiers first by this sequence, by the from the top to the bottom, not the other way around. So we're going to do that now. So let's just apply this, apply, apply, and apply. Same thing for the other wrappings. Then after we applied all of the modifiers, we're going to link this wrappings and this wrappings over here with the handle. So you can do that by right clicking the wrappings, shift right click on object mode, and shift right click on the handle, then press Ctrl J. Now that they are linked together, we are ready to like lessen the size in accordance to the size of the blade. Just press S to scale and press X for X-axis only. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Okay, my bad. Let's do that again. S, then X in edit mode. Maybe up to this point. Yep. And I guess that's still pretty small. So we could either make the blade small or make this bigger. So it doesn't really matter. So I guess we'll just try to scale this up a little bit. There we go. I guess that's just right. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to like apply our favorite proportional editing by clicking this handle that we just recently resized. Go to tab for edit mode, and let's just go to, what do we call this, wireframe. By pressing Z, then go to wireframe so that we could see everything. And let us go to edge selection, press B, and just select everything underneath, then press G. Okay, that's not gonna work because the proportional editing is not yet ready, so we're going to have to press that button there, or press O on your keyboard, then press G. Scale this up a little bit, then press Y to lock on the Y axis, and I guess we just have to move it a little bit over here, and we just have to like try our best rather to like it, to make it look like it will go with our blade. Maybe yeah, I guess from that part. Let's remove the proportional editing. Select everything by pressing A, press G, go to Y axis, and let's just put that in here. Boom. I guess that will be fine. Perfect. I guess that's nice. What do you think? Maybe we just need to curve it a little bit more. Now regarding the curvature of the blade, it's really entirely up to you. So it doesn't really matter how curved our model here is, because your model will be your model. So this will be something for like tutorial purposes only. So let's just continue on this part, because we need to like have transition from the blade going to the handle. But first we need to like separate, again we need to separate this wrappings with the handle, because we will be needing to do that more later on, because the texturing is different from the handle and from the wrappings. So the texture mapping will be difficult if we will not going to do that. Now select the handle, press tab, go to vertice selection, choose a single vertice in these wrappings, press L to select just these wrappings over there, press P, press selection to separate that wrappings here. So we're going to rename this again, wrappings 1, and we're going to do the same with the other wrappings, the wrappings inside. Just select a single vertex inside, press L, press P, press selection to unlink that wrappings there. So let's just quickly rename this one, wrappings 2, and this is the handle. Okay, so let's just hide this real quick because we are going to use some part of the handle to make the transition. So let's go to wireframe by pressing Z, go to wireframe, and let us move to face selection, press B and select everything here, then shift D to duplicate, press enter to confirm, press P and selection to separate that certain part that we have just selected. So we don't really have a name for this yet, but it doesn't really matter because we really wanted to have that same shape and everything else. So we're going to bring back the wrappings, go to solid mode by pressing Z and go to solid, then let's just click that, go to tab to edit mode, press A, scale, then shift Z, so that we'll be able to scale it up to this point, covering the whole wraps as you can see over there. Okay, I guess this is perfect. Yep, we just need to extend it a little bit. Shift Alt, select let's do that again. Go to edge selection, shift Alt, then select the top part to select everything on the top, and try to press F to fill that gaps, and you press what do we call this again? Control, I think that's Control B. Yes, that's Control B. Okay, let's press Control B and move your mouse a little bit and scroll your mouse wheel so that we will have that kind of what do we call this, transition there. Let's just move the entire model upwards by selecting A, then press G, then go to Z axis. Perfect. Okay, yep, guess that will be fine for the transitioning, because if I'm not mistaken, this part is still a cloth in Inosuke's Nichirin blade. So let's just look on the photo real quick, and yeah, I guess it's, yep, I guess it's fine. So we just have to be creative in this, so it's really entirely up to you how you're going to do that transitioning, but as of now we're just going to make it simple. Let's continue. So go to this part over here, press tab. We are still going to edit some parts still, and in selection mode, in edge selection mode, shift Alt, select everything here, press F again, Control B, so that we could have the same pattern there. I guess that will be fine. Let's just move it a little more downwards. Press G, Z. Yes, that's okay. Yeah, I guess that is fine. So actually we're going to do the same underneath because we are almost done in this model. But before we will do that, let me just try this out. So let's go back to this thing. It doesn't really have a name, so it doesn't really matter. Let's press tab again so that we can go to edit mode. Press A to select everything, and let's just focus on that by pressing this button over here. And let's just add some loop cut. Maybe press Ctrl R, then put your mouse in between this thing, maybe up to this part, or at least three loop cuts. Double click to confirm. Now the next thing we're going to do is just we're going to like select all the edge in between, Shift Alt, and then select a single edge over here so that we could select every edge around this part at least. Then go to proportional editing again, press S to scale. Let's just go up to this point. Just move your mouse not to this point, okay? So it's something like something here. Oops, not quite. Scale, and not too much, maybe up to that point. And let's do a little more scale at the top, maybe scale, yeah. Yep. So you need to just play around with this thing until you are satisfied. So I'm not going to do that anymore because when we try to put some texture there, everything will be really different. So it's just something that I'm very nosy about, so pardon me for that. We're going to do the same pattern there over here. So we're going to like select this handle again, press tab, go to Z, press Z, go to wireframe, face selection, B, and then select everything underneath, then press Shift D, enter, then P, then selection, so that we will have an extra model or extra mesh for, at least for this part. Let us go to solid mode again, then let's just scale this up, maybe by pressing S, of course, or rather let's just go to edit mode first and press A to select everything, and press S for, let's just remove the proportional editing because we don't need that yet. Again, press S up to this point. Yep, yes, that's good, I guess. Let's just put it up a little bit, press G and Z, G, Y, wireframe. Okay, let's go to edge mode again and select everything underneath, B, select G, Z. I hope I'm not going too fast, so just go back to the video if you haven't seen what I'm doing in that part. Let's go back again to solid mode, then so that we'll be able to see what's happening here. Now what we're going to do is just to fill this up. Since everything is selected below or on the bottom, just press F to fill that up, and Control V, and move your mouse somewhere up to this part, and scroll your mouse upwards to increase the increments, maybe up to this part. Yep, same pattern that we're going to apply on this part. Shift Alt, select this edge, press F, Control B, put your mouse downwards, and there we go. Gets up to this part. Yeah, perfect. That is perfect. You could also do the same pattern for this one if you're being too nosy, because if I'm not mistaken, Inosuke's blade doesn't really have a pommel, it's just wrappings. Okay, so since we are all done here, all we need to do is just to like link this up and copy it, or rather let's just press A to select everything, press Shift D to copy, G, Y, there we go, we have a double blade. Okay, I guess we are done here. There are things I need to address before I end up this video. Actually, I did not teach you how to do the mirror modifier, wherein that will be much easier. I taught you how to do the stitching pattern. I think I will call that stitching pattern, wherein we fill things up whenever like there's a hole over here. We just select and just press F to fill those little gaps or little empty spaces there. And we did it at this side and over this side, wherein actually you could do just a single side and just do a mirror modifier. And the reason that's why I did not include that in this tutorial, because I wanted you guys to master your shortcuts. So if you're not happy about that, I'm really sorry, but yeah, at least you're able to do the stitching method, and next time you could just do the mirror modifier. Also, another thing I need to address is that there will be no downloadable link of this model in this video, because it will defeat the purpose of everything else that we have just done over here. Because the reason that's why I made this video is order for you to make your own blade like this. So if you are looking for just a model, you cannot find it here, but if you're looking to learn how to make one, please just watch the entire video. So I hope you guys were able to make your own Inosuke Nichirin blade 3D model in Blender 2.9. And if you have any questions at all, please let me know in the comment section below, and I'll try my best to answer them all. So that's it guys. If you found this video interesting and helpful, make sure to give us a thumbs up and share it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.